It all comes down to the big battle, Battle of Winterfell, the long night. What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz back here for Cinephellas.com. We're talking more Game of Thrones. The big battle is finally here. It's been 8 seasons, but we're all coming down to the Battle of Winterfell, the long night. And I won't lie to you, I've been so excited for this episode for a long time. The ultimate battle between all our favorite characters in Game of Thrones versus the Whites or the White Walkers, and who will live and who will die. With a crazy-ass weekend with Avengers Endgame, so many emotions, and then having this battle episode of Game of Thrones, it was a bit too much. I felt like I was going to have a panic attack. So the Battle of Winterfell, Game of Thrones, we have 3 more episodes left of the final season. A lot is at stake, and it's everybody versus the White Walkers, as I was talking about in my previous reviews. So this episode, Battle of Winterfell, was an hour and a half long. They filmed this over 55 nights, I believe, a few months. Just to get this episode done. They shot from like 8 p.m. until like 5 in the morning. It was very excruciating circumstances for the cast, the people working on the set, the directors, producer, everybody that was there. Beginning of the episode, we see all these soldiers and characters lining up to fight. They're protecting out in the distance. The White Walkers are coming. You can hear them from the distance. You have like Dothraki and other characters like riding out, and you just see little glimpses of the flames, and they start disappearing in just pure blackness. You can really tell the characters that are waiting for the White Walkers, they're like shitting their pants because they don't know what's coming for them, how many of the White Walkers there are. When they see the flames kind of disappear, you see the White Walkers just fucking thousands of them running at all these characters. You see like Grey Worm put on his mask and his helmet, and he's like, I'm ready to fucking go. He's got like this spear. We have Brienne and Jaime, Tormund, Eddie, straight up balsa wall action, gore, fighting, blood everywhere, and fighting for survival. And that's basically what it is from the first act until the very end of the episode. And Aria is definitely a standout in this episode. One of my favorite characters of the show. And I remember watching the first season like 5 years ago, saying, Aria is going to be a pivotal part to the Game of Thrones, the way that it ends, from her being a really young girl and not listening to anybody's bullshit, and she can fight, and she's learned a lot of things over the years. We also have Sansa, we have Tyrion, they're hiding out in the crypts, and it's really interesting because it's sort of like a claustrophobic feel, because all these people and the kids are hiding out in this crypt down there, and you don't know what's going to happen. Are the White Walkers going to make it down there, and if these characters are going to survive? But I really thought that Sansa and Tyrion had a really great moment. They were married at one point, and you could see they have some really great chemistry together. So that was really a softer touch to this episode. And I will say, a lot of people were complaining. I was complaining myself watching the Sunday night. The episode is really, really dark. It's really hard to see what's going on. I'd say about 70% of the episode. And I was kind of bitching and complaining about it. So I rewatched it on my 4K TV, and I adjusted the brightness of the TV, and I could see everything. So if you guys are complaining and watch this and it was super dark, try watching it on a different TV, maybe a 4K TV, adjust the brightness, and you can see a lot more of the episode. And after rewatching it, man, I just absolutely loved it. And we do have Daenerys and Jon Snow. They're on the dragons, the 2 that are left that are living, kind of scoping out the scene from on top of like a mountain, looking down and seeing all the flames and things like that, bringing in the dragons with their fucking breathing fire and just taking out all the White Walkers. And I was thinking, I'm like, they have really good aim, like dragons, because you have like, the characters that we love like right next to the White Walkers, but the flame only hits a White Walker, so it's really good aim for the dragons, so good job on that. I'm surprised they didn't accidentally burn, like Sam or Jaime or somebody. Eventually Jon Snow is on land, and he's going after the Night King. He has to stop him, and of course he comes across a lot of issues with White Walkers, as you can imagine. One man taking on, hundreds or thousands of them. And you think, this is it for Jon Snow. He's finally going to die. Get to Bran as well. Bran is, posted up. Theon Greyjoy. Theon, another one of my favorite characters of the show. He's definitely changed over the seasons, over the entire 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. We loved him, we hated him, and now I love him again. He feels like he really rejuvenated this character, and he's putting the past in the past, and it's all about surviving and fighting the White Walkers and protecting the Starks. But the best part of the episode is obviously at the end. One of my favorite Stark characters, the one I was talking about earlier, shows up, and it's lights out for the Night King. and it happened so quick. I was like in awe, like, how did that just happen? Like, I thought it would have been built up a little more, how they take him out, but not so much. But it was also very fulfilling at the same time because it happened so quick and I didn't see it coming. The long night is finally over. And after this episode, the long night is finally over, the battle's over. What's next? The one main goal and initiative, the Iron Throne. So with the remaining characters, you know, they're going to go after Cersei and take the Iron Throne. So it's going to be very interesting how they're going to go from such an action-packed episode in episode 3 for the 3 remaining episodes. But overall, I had a great time with the Battle of Winterfell, the long night, this episode we've been waiting for 8 seasons, the battle of good versus evil, and all the actors and, you know, the directors, producers, everybody in the show did an excellent job. One of the best Game of Thrones episodes we've seen to date. I'm not going to say it's the best one, it's not my favorite, but it was really well done and the payoff was amazing. So I'm going to give Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, Battle of Winterfell a 4 out of 5 Jon Snow hair pieces, boys. But what did you guys think of Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, Battle of Winterfell? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What's going to happen in the next 3 episodes of Game of Thrones? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out, my good friend here, Aria Stark. Until the next Game of Thrones video review. Cheers!